45.16. Price got rejected. So what I'm hoping for is a pullback.
The yields coming down, right? 2-year yields. Look how very similar it is to dollar yen.
If it reaches this support area, that will be another nice buy.
There is that potential for perhaps a New Year's breakout, but it is what I genuinely believe. I'm going to cast my vote here in a second. You have trades open right now on the FX side. I know you still have S&P, right?
Just S&P. What I'm looking for, I guess, in risk on pairs and risk on assets like the S&P is a pullback.
Mhm.
So what we talked about earlier in the week was hopefully a test to complete the move at resistance, and this is 45.16. Price got rejected, came back up for a retest. It's rejecting again on the day. So what I'm hoping for is a pullback, just because it's like that gold story we just had in October when price moved way too fast.
Mhm.
Um, it would be concerning and I guess kind of unhealthy to see the market just continue to run higher on
Mhm.
giant green candles, because that just means the corrections that happen or the pullbacks are just as steep. So if we can find some resistance here, come back, take a breather on this rally, and just retest this level, come down towards the 4400s, the low 4400s, something like that, and then see some kind of rejection of the lows, like see another hammer candle like this. Um, just something on the daily chart, the 4 hour, that suggests we're gonna find support and then a continuation to the upside. So Euro USD, same deal. Saw rejection yesterday. Today looks a little mixed. Still up on the day, but testing testing its highs, and hopefully what I'm trying to get is just a pullback on here, because I am overall bullish on forex pairs, on risk on forex pairs,
Mhm.
but I have not taken many trades at all, and have just been in this S&P trade because one, I missed the move to the upside on the risk on pairs, but looking for pullbacks in the market and just setups along the way. At the same time, UJ right here,
Mhm.
test support bouncing off. Um, this is just another case of, is dollar going to rally here, or are we going to expect some more lows in the future? I think if we close underneath this trend line today, that doesn't look very promising for UJ. I think there's more downside to come. But if we see rejection here and price closes with a hammer or pin bar just above this trend line, we could probably, maybe look for longs here.
Mhm.
So right now I am just a little mixed, but overall bullish on risk on. Just need to see like a setup, I guess.
Very cool. And Frank, to your dollar yen point, so I just want to make this point clear, and we'll bring in Kenzo in a second. He's waiting patiently, so I apologize to Kenzo for the delay. The yields coming down, right? 2-year yields. Look how very similar it is to dollar yen. I think that this actually is set to continue, and just a little bit of a trade of the day. Not something that I talk about or even share in Discord because it's so boring. But I bought some more bond ETFs recently. The idea being here to that dollar yen and yields point. I think that we're going to see economic indicators continue to go low. I don't know, or lower. I don't know how much lower. And so this is a slight hedge. If we do start to enter into the recession camp, which I'm not in that camp, but I'm saying just as a slight hedge to my personal, trading accounts. I do want to pick up some bond ETFs just in the situation that you see things swing a little too far to the economic slowdown side. So just a thought to add to your dollar yen. So in some essence, I'm in some ways kind of by proxy short dollar yen with my bond idea. Just because again, I'm betting that yields will continue to come down, and in that case, of course, bonds would look more attractive.
Want to stay up to date with all the latest trading information? In the description below, you'll find the link to join our free Discord. The Discord gives you instant access to lots of helpful material like free trading courses, chart analysis, updates about what's happening in the A1 community, as well as discount codes for our other products and services. The best part, all of this and more is 100% free. So go down in the description below this video and check it out for yourself. If you're interested in upgrading to the full VIP Discord featuring our team of expert traders signals, you can use the live chat link in the description to get connected with one of our team members in seconds. So don't wait, go check out the free Discord today.
The first half of this week was explosive. Of course, the CPI number came out cooler than expected, and risk assets really had a nice rally. We saw the dollar coming down. We saw stocks really breaking out, making some runs to the upside there across all the major indices, and even seeing some participation from some of the areas of the markets that have been pretty depressed, like the Russell and even Dow stocks having a little bit of a run. I want to get your take as we take a look at all of this stuff going on. Take a look at, cooling inflation and jobs numbers that seem to be hanging in there. Are you soft landing camp? Are you bullish? Are you, what do you think about gold? Wherever you'd like to start, what's keeping you what's the most interesting thing to you right now?
Yeah, as you saw, actually, all the economic news were against the dollar. We're not really that bullish. So I'm actually confident that maybe we are going to have some very nice bullish momentums as the dollar is losing the momentum currently. So from NASDAQ to gold to other currency pairs like GBP, USD, Euro USD, I think maybe it's time for them to start to push the upside. So here it's a DXY dollar index. You can see that we just lost some serious momentum. You can see that from this area, it's a serious move or push. So I'm still actually thinking that this is the start of this down trend maybe. So if the market is going to push like that, I'm expecting to see some serious bullish. Whether it's NASDAQ or gold, I think we're going to see some serious reversal.
Yeah, no, very, very good points there about the NASDAQ and gold, right? So for those of you guys who are indices traders or gold traders, or even currency traders, what's kind of interesting here is that you're seeing that sell pressure that's coming into the dollar offering a lot of relief to a lot of other places in the market. You're seeing gold catch a little bit of a good bid here going on. You got indices making moves higher, as I mentioned, participation across all of the major indices. And I think what's really interesting is that if that dollar trend, as you pointed out, if that continues to form into a bigger kind of secular trend, a secular shift in the market where maybe this Fed is truly done and there is room for some of that that change in market nature to play out for several months. I think, a lot of people are thinking that this dollar is just going to snap right back up. And while it certainly could if something changes, I think the path of least resistance is, as you mentioned, base the trade idea on the channel to the downside that seems to be forming until something proves different. So I guess of gold, of NASDAQ, which one are you looking more closely, and which one, I guess, would you play if you had to pick one?
Yeah, on gold, we had a very nice buy, but unfortunately, we went out very early. So where we are now, I think obviously I think it's a sort of a resistant, but I'm not surprised. I think the market obviously will try to breathe a little bit before we see another push to the upside, because this shows a very nice, actually a great momentum. So I think the market will breathe a little bit before we see a breakout at the top. Or if maybe this is not going to be valid, we will be looking at this highest area. But besides that, because whatever that we received this month, it was so positive actually to a point where I'm waiting for FOMC meeting. Obviously, they can't talk about increasing any rate. That automatically will push the market to the upside. So now I'm just waiting for the market to create a smaller reversal. Maybe we will see another push. If maybe it breaks to, if it reaches this support area, that will be another nice buy. With this bullish momentum that we see actually on gold, I'm expecting a nice reversal. Obviously, when we have this type of a bullish momentum, one way or another, we're still going to reverse. We're going to get some sort of reversal. I think the market might reach this area and start to push the upside. Even if we break this area, I still believe that we might have another bullish momentum going further. So the way I see the market now, you can see that maybe on US 30, on gold, on Nasdaq also, they were all pushing the upside. But as the market, as you know, the market one way or another has to reverse before we see another continuation to the upside. So I'm actually bullish. Whether we see any reversal, I'm not going to jump on a sell. I will just wait to jump on that buy.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, I think I'm with you on that. Like for me, with Nas, Dow, gold, there's no selling for me. It's only buys, but it's trying to find those correct buying opportunities. I think, if I show you my chart here on gold, my thought process is a little bit closer in on the price. You can see here's the 4-hour view. I think we had this nice push from 1956 right on up to just shy of 1993. Now pulling back, to me, I would be interested in potentially getting long gold at the 61.8% retracement. That's about a entry level of 1970.7, let's call it. So I'm going to watch this. This is kind of on my watch list today. And I actually am very interested in getting long gold if we get that pullback. So I think we're on the same camp on that side. It does make sense if you think about if that dollar story continues to come down, gold has some nice tailwind in that effect. Again, a Fed, and as you pointed out with the upcoming Fed meeting, if their next discussions start just becoming at what point do we cut rates, I think the dollar story just continues to be bearish, and we finally start to see some breakouts of meaningful size on gold and some of the other areas of the market that have not had so much love. I mean, if you're talking gold, I pointed this out earlier. One of the most seasonally strong times for gold is the month of January. At least in the last 10 years, there's been a nice tendency for gold to do well in the month of January. So we're not there yet, but we're getting closer to January, and there is that potential for perhaps a New Year's breakout. So that's of course, it's far out, and things will very well change between now and then. But I think that is something to loosely consider as we approach the end of the year. So thanks for sharing that, Kenzo, on gold. I want to also ask you about the NASDAQ. You had the Dow pulled up there for a second. What are your thoughts on the NASDAQ? It's had a really strong run. Do you think it's overbought? Do you think it can keep going? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, on my side, it's not actually an overbought. Yes, the market was rallying last week. It was pushing very nice. I think the market has to have that time of rejection, of reversal, so that it can get another momentum before we see another push. If not, maybe it will just break where we are and start to push the upside. But I believe that the market won't just move straight up, even if maybe we are on like 100% strongest bullish momentum. But I'm expecting a nice reversal so that we can get in the market again. Plus, we are actually on a new trend. We just broke out here. We don't even have a proper retest. So there is a possibility that maybe we might see a smaller reversal before we jump on that. So I believe that we are still on a very nice bullish momentum. I can't say it's overbought. It's just that the market just get exhausted a little bit, then it will push up maybe next week, or maybe even today. On Fridays, mostly the market tends to move in the opposite directions. Later on, around 8, like maybe up before the market close, the market mostly will jump. Mostly it moves like that.
Yeah, no, great points there about I think that one really dangerous, famous last words in markets is the NASDAQ looks overbought. I mean, that thing can just keep going way further than you think it can, right? At the end of the day, tech stocks can have massive, massive pushes. And of course, the NASDAQ is
Yeah,
pretty heavy on the tech side.
I don't think that it's a bigger move. If you go back to the serious moves that we saw other months or before, this is
Mhm.
actually way too smaller. Sometimes gold
Mm.
Nasdaq can push like 4% per day. So even though it takes time sometimes, but we sometimes get 4 to 3% move per day. So yes, it might be a bigger move, but it's not really that crazy.
Yep, exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
if you
So,
go back, you will see some
yeah.
other days the market go crazy.
Yep. And look at this run from 2020. I mean, if you had thought at any point during this time, oh, this thing is overbought, you actually might have been right. But the problem is, it could go much further than you think so, right? So, I mean, in this case,
Exactly.
that's a move of 150%. It then proceeded to drop, of course, 38% last year. And this year it's up about 43, I think, year to date. So it's been a really good overall run.
Do you think that the community overall is more on the prop firms are good side, or do you think they're more on the prop firms are not so good side?
So it's kind of hard because if you had asked me that, well, let's see, September was the big my Forex funds thing, which definitely rocked the prop firm world. I think if you asked me in August, what the community thought, I think it would be a screaming favoritism for props. And I think I think it's probably more split. That's going to be my opinion. I think people have kind of been a little bit alarmed to the idea that some prop firms out there might be a little bit sketchy. Some of them might be perfectly fine. So I know it's kind of the cop out answer, but it is what I genuinely believe. I'm going to cast my vote here in a second. And again, I would encourage everybody to go vote on this. But I think to your question, James, I think that it's going to be pretty dang mixed with a slight lean towards they can be great, but it depends. That's my guess. Let's see. I guess I'll cast my vote and we'll see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Okay. Interesting. Break this down for us, James. What does this tell us?
So the overall, favorite side, again, if you're kind of splitting it into the two halves where the top two choices are pro prop firm and the bottom two choices are not so pro prop firm or don't like prop firm, the overwhelming majority seems to still be riding high on the prop firms, which I think, again, I agree. I think that they can be great. It just depends. You have to find the right one for you because of some of the incidents that have happened in the past in the prop firm industry. That's not to say that they're all bad, but you just have to find the right one for you. So I was honestly surprised as well, because you're right. After the events in September and my Forex funds, and there was the other one even before that. I'm blanking on what the name of that one was. But
Funding talent way back in the day was one. There's been
yeah,
a couple. Surge
um,
Trader also kind of has some issues going on. There's a lot of them.
right. So after, just purely based on recency bias, I would have thought that the tone had shifted a bit. There was kind of a negative outlook on the prop firm industry, but that does not really seem to be the case. Still, it still seems that the overwhelming majority of people agrees that prop firms are a good thing, and again, I think I agree with them. I think that they can be.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the fair answer. Clearly, that's what most people are thinking. Now, in terms of maybe we'll have to do another poll in the future where we just give you a binary. They're good, they're bad. That I think most people would not even want to answer that poll because that's kind of too hard. It's way too binary because prop firms. I've talked about this many times in many videos, and people probably know my stance on them. Prop firms absolutely are a wonderful opportunity as long as it's not a bad actor prop firm, right? If it's a prop firm that's like working against their traders and screwing people over and doing secret stuff, the problem is there's not like a huge oversight and regulation when it comes to prop firms.
Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free Edge Finder, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.